Is Google losing its dominance? That's what people have been asking themselves in the last couple of years. By people, I mean investors. If we look at the last 3 years, we've seen quite a lot of drawdowns for Google, right? Drawdowns of 20% and even ones of 40%. Most recently, we've seen a drawdown of close to 20%. Now, of course, there are fears that, well, Google's search dominance might get hurt. And of course, that means that their cash cow, advertising side of the business, search, is going to get hit as well. But when you have such questions, usually it's a good thing to look at the data. And the data rarely lies. So let's have a look at all of that, look at some recent comments made by the CFO as well, and a couple of extra things throughout this video. Of course, I own Google, so I will be biased when I talk about this business, but I will definitely tell you where I see some risks when we look at all of that data. So if you like this type of videos, hit all the buttons, would really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. Now, just as a quick FYI, right now Google has a market cap of just over $2 trillion, a forward PE of 19.4 times, and the PE in the last 12 months was 21.6 times. I'd like to start off with some data points. So if we look at the browser market share worldwide, we compare Chrome, Safari, and Edge, we can see that yes, Google Chrome has lost a little bit of market share, but still by far the leader. Switching to search engine, what we can see here is that, well, Google still sits at 90% market share. The other closest one is Bing. So yeah, although it's now at 90%, it was a little bit higher a year or so ago. I mean, it's still at 90%. And for those that still don't think that Google search is evolving, well, especially if you're in the United States, you know that you have something like this. If you ask a question, you've got Search Lab AI overviews, and now they even have a new thing, but that's just available right now for the Google One subscribers. So I asked here, what are the most comfortable couches? And instead of me having to click on multiple links, no, I get here a nice overview, popular and higher rated comfortable couches that tell you exactly the specifications, what it's made of, etc., etc. So a big change in how Google search is working. It's not the 10 blue links anymore. Or maybe here, how to cut onions without crying. They tell you exactly other tips to avoid tears while cutting onions, for example. Or, well, if you are a perma bear, you've probably been cutting onions for a long time. Now, more recently, Google told us that they have 5 trillion searches on Google annually. I mean, you cannot tell me that this is a failing business when they have 5 trillion searches on Google annually. They also have more opportunities to grow that. So they say here, with the launch of AI overviews, the volume of commercial queries has increased as well. They've added ads in Lens, the new powered AI Google Shopping, 3D spins for ad images. I mean, Google search is ever evolving. You might not notice it, but it hasn't been the same for many years. And Sundar said that in 2025, search is going to change quite a lot. Now, looking at some LLMs and the market share there, of course, this is data compared 2023 to 2024. We're already in 2025, but well, we still have a long way to go to finish the year. So these were the last couple of numbers that we got. So we can see that OpenAI in 2023 had 50% market share. They're now sitting at 34, still quite a lot. Anthropic, which is Claude, they basically doubled. They went from 12% to 24%. Meta stayed the same. Google went from 7 to 12%. So yeah, I mean, OpenAI, first mover advantage, but yeah, maybe that trend will continue. Remains to be seen. I still think that those who have the distribution, which definitely Meta and Google, and well, you could say that X with Grok being integrated on the platform also has the distribution, will have an easier time growing and monetizing those services. Although OpenAI, ChatGPT, first mover advantage, the most popular one, still one of the best ones out there. I think that's also one of the reasons why it's still at 34%. But let's see what happens in the future. Now, going back to the Google Alphabet aspect and the investment side of things. So first up, This was taken 2 days ago, so of course the PE changed a little bit, but not by much. 18 or 19 times forward PE, that doesn't change much or what I'm going to say here. What I will say is that one, yes, it is cheap, but two, it has never really been that expensive, right? If you look at the average in the last 5 years, well, 23.25, right? It's not that it was trading on average at 30 or more. Yes, sometimes we did go above 30 back in 2020, 2021 when everything was super expensive. But as you can see, on average, 23.25. So yeah, it's not like the other stocks where we've seen a huge difference. Google Alphabet, on average, has never really been that expensive. Now, what could change in the future is, well, maybe multiple expansion. Because if you look at free cash flow for the last couple of years, it's not really grown that much, right? But what's expected in the next couple of fiscal years, well, it's expected to basically go from $72.7 billion in free cash flow, that was fiscal 24, to $112.5 billion in fiscal 2027. Now, if we can reach that, I think this one deserves a higher multiple. Now, why have we seen free cash flow not move that much? First of all, a lack of cost control. Second of all, as you can see, capital expenditures have increased quite drastically in the last couple of years. But let me show you something else. If we look at what has happened in the last couple of quarters, looking at Google Search, YouTube Ads, Google Network, Google Subscription, Google Cloud, and other bets, can you tell me where Google Alphabet is a failing business? Because I don't seem to see it anywhere on the screen. Google Search continues to go up, YouTube Ads continues to go up, subscription continues to go up. Yes, it's true that Google Network did take a small hit, but all the rest here, I don't see any indication of this being a failing business. Then if we look at what I think will be one of the largest businesses out there, and that's Google Cloud. Revenue for Google Cloud continues to go up. It also becomes more and more profitable, so that's great. But at the moment, it is true that still, if you look at the majority of operating income, that still comes from Google services. And here as well, where is the failing business part? Nowhere to be seen. Now, what has happened last quarter, same with Microsoft, is that Google Cloud revenue year-over-year growth, well, it did come down quarter after quarter. But what they did also do is grow 30.1%. So still growing quite quickly. Plus last quarter, you can see it grew 35%. But then if you look at the same quarter a year ago, pretty weak quarter. Only grew 22.5%. So yeah, we're now growing at 30%, but from a larger dollar base, which is much better. Same with Microsoft. Plus, during the earnings call, they told us that if they had more capacity, they would have grown much more, which to me sounds quite bullish, and which is also why they're expected to, well, what is the capex of $75 billion for the year? I mean, if there is demand, they will make sure that they grow and address that demand. So when I hear things like, oh, we could have grown more if we had more capacity, to me that's not something bearish, that's something very, very bullish. As for what was mentioned by the CFO last week, so she told us a couple of things. First of all, on innovation, the notion of falling behind was refuted with examples like Circle to Search, AI overviews, and Gemini 2. AI search monetization is comparable to legacy search, alleviating investors' concern, which is always great to hear because we've all been talking about cannibalizing and can they monetize it, as well as the OG search. Seems like it's going according to plan. As for the positive impact of AI overviews are driving repeat queries, the Gemini app is increasing overall engagement, and AI is expanding search use cases and market size. As for their competitive advantage, well, as we've seen, they've got vast data from the 5 trillion annual queries, they've got YouTube, and 6 products with over 2 billion users enable superior model training. Resources like Gemini, DeepMind, cloud infrastructure, and semiconductor business support data utilization. The strong advertising business and impressions menu provide direct monetization. Trust with users such as YouTube creators increase likelihood of sales. If we look at shopping ads, for example, they've done many surveys, and yeah, apparently people like YouTube creators, and especially when it comes to reviewing products or whatnot, people like to listen to what YouTubers have to say. So I guess that's something positive. And the last thing here, AI is used to increase advertising effectiveness. We've definitely seen that with Meta. And so to come back to the main question, is Google losing its dominance? Well, so far I see no indication of that happening. Could it happen in the future? Yeah, for sure. But I think we're going to see that in the numbers. And so far, the numbers show me that this is a damn good business trading at a damn good price. Plus, even if they lose a bit of their dominance, even if they have to divest from Google Chrome, which I think will be a huge mistake, but okay, I don't decide this stuff, you still have YouTube. You still have Google Cloud, which in my opinion are going to be huge businesses in the future. And then you have something like Waymo, right? A future bet that is also already growing quite rapidly, but could become a super large, $100 billion plus business in the future. And I think they will spin it off. I think this will be an independent company in the future that could help with Google's valuation as well. So yeah, to me, this is one of the no-brainers in the market. The market is providing us with quite a lot of opportunities more recently, right? In my opinion, we're nowhere near where we were when we exited 2021 into that 2022 bear market. Because now, I mean, it's been already a couple of weeks where we've seen some of the big tech players trading at super attractive prices that have just become even cheaper right now. So we're nowhere near that overvalued market, nowhere near those bubbles that we've seen 3 years ago. But of course, in the short term, the market will do what the market wants, right? We can go up one day, can go down the other, extreme volatility, unknowns, uncertainties, we know that. But long-term investors probably love what we're seeing right now. If you can buy quality business at great prices, I don't think we have to complain. And specifically with Alphabet Google here, yes, it's true, it's been trailing for the last couple of weeks, maybe actually for a longer time, but it's a damn good business. It's a damn good business, and I think it will become better and better. So yeah, I'm still very bullish on the business. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.